Hello everybody and welcome to Alumni Field here at the Wilpon Baseball and Softball Complex for WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan softball. I'm Austin Falco bringing you the first game of a doubleheader and the first game of a three-game series between the Indiana Hoosiers and the Michigan Wolverines. As I mentioned, Austin Falco here on the call. Morris Fabry joining momentarily. As we said, the doubleheader today, the Sunday game of this three-game series, canceled due to weather and moved up to today, hence the early start time, 3 o'clock. On the mound for the Wolverines today, to begin this three-game series, is the always fantastic Megan Betza. Betza enters having started 26 games on the season. She has a record of 19-7, sits with a 1.30 ERA, in 183 innings pitched. She has struck out a whopping 334 batters, only walked 73 of them. Begin the game for Indiana. It'll be the center fielder Rebecca Blitz stepping up to the plate, and we are ready for some softball action here. First pitch from Betza, catches the outside corner for a strike. It's up 0-1. After the center fielder Rebecca Blitz will be the right fielder Gabby Jenkins and the designated player for the day, Mia Cerrigos, slated to begin the game. Second pitch here from Betza, misses high and away for a ball. Evens the count up at 1-1. Blitz on the season coming in batting .333. Has played in all 47 games the Hoosiers have had so far this season. The 1-1 pitch from Betza, swung at and missed by the slap hitter Blitz. And now she's down on the count 1-2. Betza not wasting any time, coming out here attacking these Indiana hitters. Very good Indiana lineup, especially if you look down the lineup, look at those averages. The 1-2 pitch, line into left field for a base hit. So Rebecca Blitz starts off the game with a single here. The Hoosiers are in business in the top of the first inning. That'll bring up the right fielder Gabby Jenkins to face Megan Betza. Jenkins, the freshman for the Indiana Hoosiers, batting an even .300 on the season, making her 39th start. It's the Hoosiers' 48th game. The first pitch she sees from Betza here. Squares around to bunt, but pulls back and takes it for a strike. 0-1 the count. Over on first, Rebecca Blitz, a threat to steal. 14 for 19 on the season in stolen bases. But Katie Alexander behind the plate for the Wolverines, very adept at throwing out runners. The second pitch here to Jenkins, misses off the plate away, evens the count up at 1-1. Jenkins, the second straight slap hitter, begin the lineup for the Hoosiers. Where's that number 23 on her bag? Now she steps in, and the 1-1 pitch from Betza. Tapped foul into the screen behind home plate, brings the count to 1-2. Jenkins, the slap hitter, so far on the season, does have a double and a triple to her name. She's able to find a couple of those gaps. Wolverine outfield playing in, the corners of the Wolverine infield starting to creep in now, especially Mana Morano at third. And that one is slapped right in front of the plate. It'll be Alexander pick it up, make the play down to first to record the out. So essentially a sacrifice bunt there by Gabby Jenkins as Rebecca Blitz moves up to second. And there is one out here in the top half of the first. That will bring up the designated player, Mia Cerrigos. Cerrigos on the season, batting .305. Plenty of power in the bat, leads the Hoosier team with 8 home runs on the season. She stands in that right-handed batter's box. First pitch she sees from Betza is a fastball in there for a strike. Brings the count to 0-1. Betza gets a sign from the dugout now, toes the rubber. And the 0-1 pitch. Grounded towards second. That will be Canfield to make the play. Toss over to first. Routine play there to record out number 2 on the play. Blitz does move up to third base. But with 2 outs in the inning, Megan Betza a chance to get out of this unscathed. She'll have to face the first baseman rather, Taylor Uden. Taylor Uden, of course, the older sister of Michigan freshman and designated player for the day, Madison Uden. First pitch here misses low for a ball. Uden on the season batting .318, has played in and started every single Hoosier game so far this season. Spezza spins and the 1-0 pitch. That one catches the outside corner. Nice frame job there from the catcher, Katie Alexander. Evens the count up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Uden also has plenty of extra base power in that bat. 11 doubles and 7 home runs on the season. She leads the Hoosiers in that doubles category. Betza gets the sign on the 1-1 pitch. This one just misses low, maybe a little outside there. According to home plate umpire Leah Bowen. Gonna bring the count to 2 balls and 1 strike on the dangerous first baseman for Indiana. 2-1 pitch now from Betza. This one misses high this time. Brings the count to 3-1. So Uden in firm control of this at bat. Chance to drive in the first run of the ball game over there at third. That's Rebecca Blitz. She led off the game with a single. So the 3-1 pitch here. 2 outs in the top of the first. Taken for a strike. Betza took a little bit off that one and evens the count up, or rather runs the count full. 3-2. Betza gets the sign. Now she spins and the payoff pitch. Taken for strike 3 on the outside corner. So big strikeout there from Betza. Gets her out of a little bit of trouble here in the top half of the first inning. After 1/2 inning here at Alumni Field. We're still scoreless between the Indiana Hoosiers and the Michigan Wolverines. You're listening to WCBN's broadcast of Michigan softball. So it will be Michigan's chance now to take an early lead in the bottom half of the first inning. They'll have to do it against the right-handed pitcher for the Hoosiers, Tara Traynor. Traynor so far on the season has started 29 games, has a record of 12-13, but her ERA only .304. In 152 innings, she's struck out 92, or rather struck out 154, only walked 92 batters. And coming off a weekend series last week against Maryland in Bloomington, a total of 15 innings pitched, only gave up 2 runs and a couple complete game wins there. Struck out 12 in those games, only walked 7. So definitely in a groove here is Tara Traynor. The Wolverine lineup she'll have to face today. Of course, after being adjusted last weekend by Carol Hutchins, get a very similar lineup to what we saw in Sunday's game at Wisconsin. Leading off for the Wolverines will be the center fielder Kelly Christner. Batting second and playing short is Abby Ramirez. Faith Canfield is the second baseman. She bats third. In right field today is Aiden Falk in the cleanup spot in the lineup. First baseman Tara Blanco bats fifth. Batting sixth today is the designated player Madison Uden. Catching today and batting seventh is Katie Alexander. Over at third base, batting eighth is Lindsay Montemorano. And the left fielder today, rounding out the lineup, is Courtney Richardson. The first pitch here from Traynor to Christner misses high for a ball, 1-0 the count. Christner, the best Wolverines hitter so far on the season, stands in there with a .408 batting average, 6 home runs, 35 RBIs on the year. Second pitch she sees here is taken on the outside corner for a strike, evens things up at 1 ball and 1 strike. First Christner batting much of the season in the heart of the Wolverine order, post shakeup. Now batting more towards the top as she takes a hack at this one and fouls it straight back to the screen behind home plate. Count now 1 ball and 2 strikes on the center fielder for the Wolverines. Tara Traynor out there on the mound wearing that protective mask. Not something you see out of every pitcher that plays here. As the 1-2 pitch is bounced in there. Appeal down to third on the check swing. No swing by Christner. Ruled by third base umpire Megan Rabin. That'll even the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Traynor looking for another put-away pitch here, the 2-2. This one is lined deep towards center field. The center fielder going back. That's Blitz off the wall. Krishner is rounding second. She's going to try for third as Blitz had trouble with it. She gets in there with a slide and no throw. So Kelly Krishner leads off the game, and now she's standing over at third base. We'll see how it's ruled. If I was taking a guess, I'd say a double and an error that moves Krishner up to third base. Regardless of how it's scored, though, the Wolverines looking for a chance to hop out early here as Abby Ramirez steps to the plate. Nobody out, Krishner over at third. A great piece of hitting there by Krishner. The 2-2 pitch, she drove straight out there to center field. And it is indeed ruled a double and an error. The first pitch Abby Ramirez sees, misses outside for a ball, 1-0. Bit of a sparse crowd here at Alumni Field with the late announcement of making this a doubleheader, but still energized after that Krishner double. The 1-0 pitch to Abby Ramirez catches the outside corner this time. The count 1-1. Ramirez batting in .359 on the season. Has 15 RBIs and a chance to tack onto that total here with Krishner over at third base. The Indiana defense playing in all the ways. This one is fouled off to the left side, off that screen that protects the left field stands, or the third base stands rather. Brings the count to 1-2. Definitely looks like the middle infield for the Hoosiers going home on a ball hit hard enough up the middle. Now to see the corners for the Indiana infield moving in, expecting that slap hit from Abby Ramirez. The 1-2 pitch here misses low and away for a ball, evens the count up at 2-2. Ramirez has seen time in the leadoff spot and the 2 spot, as well as in the 9 spot so far this season for the Wolverines. The 2-2 pitch here, bounced towards short. The shortstop O'Malley makes the play, throws to first just in time to retire Abby Ramirez. Krishner not able to score on the plays. As I mentioned, the Indiana Hoosier middle infield playing in, trying to cut down a run. Instead, they'll settle for the out at first base as Krishner still over there at third, with Faith Canfield stepping up to the plate. The Hoosier defense corner still playing in. Now the middle infield playing back against the more powerful Faith Canfield. First pitch she sees, misses low for a ball. Count 1-0. Canfield, the second baseman for the Wolverines, batting .364 on the season, second best on the team. Has herself 6 home runs and 29 RBIs. Second pitch here also misses low. Brings the count to 2-0. And Canfield now in control, a chance to do some damage. A fly ball to the outfield should be enough to score Krishner from third. Additionally, a fly ball to the outfield could carry out of here as the wind blowing to straightaway center. The 2-0 pitch here from Trainer is off the plate inside. The count now 3-0. Canfield not afraid to take a walk on the season. Has 9 of them compared to only 6 strikeouts. As Trainer gets her sign here from the dugout, she's now toes the rubber, waves the hands over her head, and fires the 3-0 pitch. That misses high for ball 4, so 4-pitch walk puts runners on the corners for the Wolverines, bringing up the right fielder, Aiden Falk. Aiden Falk seeing a little more time in right field after this lineup shakeup has occurred. She's stepping down that left-handed batter's box, sporting a .313 batting average. She has 3 home runs of the season herself and a team-leading 36 RBIs. Once again, a chance to do some damage here with Krishner at third. Canfield over at first. This one is bounced back towards the pitcher. Trainer, she'll look towards third and chase Krishner back, then fires over to first to record the out. So 2 outs now in the inning and a couple runners in scoring position. First, looks like first base coach Bonnie Hunt over there, talking with the first base umpire Chelsea Clark. Not sure what she's arguing there, but doesn't look too happy with what she was told. Perhaps arguing the first baseman for the Hoosiers, Taylor Reed, was in the baseline. Nonetheless, it will just go down as an out as Canfield moves up to second on the play. Now runners, it's second and third with 2 outs for the first baseman, Tara Blanco. First pitch to Blanco here is in there on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Blanco on the season after a slow start is able to get that batting average up to 259. She has 4 home runs and 35 RBIs. Second pitch of the at-bat here. Big swing and a miss on the drop. Looks like the off-speed pitch there that dropped straight out of the zone. Started at the knees. Ended up low, just about in the dirt. Blanco took a hack at it anyway, and it's now down in the count 0-2. Trainer with a chance to get out of this unscathed. This pitch misses low, bounces away just a little bit there from the catcher Norton, but not far enough for Christner to come home on the play. Count now sits at 1 ball and 2 strikes. As Blanco waves that bat over the plate a couple times. Trainer now ready, the 1-2 pitch. Fouled off the end of the bat, or rather, not off the end of the bat. A swing and a miss there. Gets away from the catcher, Norton. And Blanco will reach first as Christner comes in to score on the drop third strike. I thought Blanco got a piece of that ball. Looks like the catcher, Norton, perhaps arguing the same thing. Nonetheless, it's going to go down as a run. Wolverines lead here 1-0 in the first inning on a drop third strike there from Tara Blanco. Canfield also moved up to third on the play, so now runners at the corners. Michigan with second life here. Madison Uden stepping to the plate. The first pitch of the at-bat to Uden. Swung at and fouled straight back to the screen. Count 0-1. Uden, the freshman designated player for the Wolverines, her sister Taylor Uden over there at first. Holding on the runner at first, Tara Blanco. 0-1 pitch here to Uden. Swing and a miss there, but late on the rise ball. That one rose up and out of the zone. Brings the count to 0-2. Trainer with another chance to get here out of the inning here. This time only giving up 1 if possible. The 0-2 pitch swung at and fouled back to the screen again. Another rise ball rising up and out of the zone. Uden able to get a piece of that one though and stay alive. Brings the count, or rather keeps the count at 0-2. Trainer gets the sign from the dugout here looking for a put-away pitch here against Maddie Uden. This one gets past the catcher Norton as it missed high, and Canfield in to score. So a couple pass balls here in the inning result in a couple Wolverine runs. They're now up 2-0. The catcher Norton behind the plate having just a little bit of trouble here hanging on to the ball. Both the drop third strike that got past and allowed to run the score, as well as that one, looked pretty manageable from a catching standpoint. Just ticked off the end of the glove both times and has resulted in 2 Wolverine runs. So Blanco on the play, also moving up to second. Canfield now, or rather Madison Uden, now sits at 1-2 in the count. We're going to get a visit to the circle here. I believe that's the head coach for the Indiana Hoosiers, Michelle Gardner. A Wolverine grad back in 1989. Appropriate here on graduation weekend in Ann Arbor. The visit at the circle commences. The Hoosier infield goes back to their spots. And now Tara Trainer will try to get out of the inning here. The 1-2 pitch to Uden. Swung at and missed on a ball that dropped right down out of the zone for out number 3. But the Wolverines able to score twice on a couple pass balls after 1 inning here at Alumni Field. The score, Michigan 2, Indiana 0. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan softball, the official student radio broadcast for the team. And joining us now here to begin the second inning is WCBN's own Morris Fabry. Morris, how you doing?
A little tired, a little winded. Not quite in mid-season shape, or at least end-of-season shape like these players are. The long walk / run from work to my car and from the parking lot to here took it out of me, but hopefully I'll be able to recapture my breath in time for the beginning of the second.
We got a little bit of time here as Megan Betson will begin the second, facing the 5, 6, and 7 hitters in the Indiana lineup in the form of Rachel O'Malley, Katie Lacefield, and Amila McDonough. As Rachel O'Malley now steps to the plate, we'll have some softball here for you in the second inning of this one. To recap for those of you just joining us at home or here in the booth, Michigan,
thanks Austin.
Michigan able to score 2 in the bottom of the first inning off a couple of passed balls. They currently lead 2-0 here as the first pitch from Betsa to O'Malley misses high, maybe a bit outside for a ball, 1-0 the count. O'Malley comes into this game batting .252 on the year. The second pitch she sees here from Betsa misses just outside, brings the count to 2-0.
Betsa going the off speed there, missing with both pitches a little bit up in the zone. It's probably something that she can get away with against O'Malley, not being a huge power threat, but maybe not ideal command to start off an inning.
Pitches didn't miss by that much, and it obviously upset Carol Hutchins in the Wolverine dugout there as the home plate umpire Leah Bowen had to go over and quiet him down for a second. The 2-0 pitch here from Betsa, lined into left field for a base hit. So for the second straight inning, Indiana leads off the inning with a line drive single to left. They are in business here, trying to tie this one up in this top half of the second inning. And that'll bring up the third baseman, Katie Lacefield.
It's a get-me-over drop ball right there from Megan Betsa, and O'Malley was obviously sitting on it. Good patience to wait on that to get over the plate, wrist through the zone, and drive it into left field.
So the left-handed hitting Lacefield steps to the plate. The first pitch she sees here from Betsa is bunted. Montemurano over Montemurano's head as she leaps to try to make the play. That'll go down as an infield single here, with O'Malley moving up to second. Now 2 runners on here in the top of the second, nobody out. Bringing up the left fielder on the day, Amila McDonough.
Hard to know whether that was a very well-executed push punt over the head of Montemurano or a little bit of luck as she got under a would-be sacrifice. Either way, the result is a positive one for the Hoosiers here.
And imagine it's all semantics here for the Hoosiers. As it's a couple runners on, nobody out here in the second. Looking to try to even this one up. Michigan currently leads by a score of 2-0. Already the third hit for the Hoosiers here in the first couple innings of this one. McDonough bunts as well. This one is caught by Montemurano. Fires over to first. Double play! Popped up bunt was snagged by Montemurano. Fired over to first, where Canfield alertly came over to cover and was able to retire the batter over at first. Lacefield, for now 2 outs and a runner on second. The complexion of the inning rapidly changing here.
Nice quick transfer by Monty, but that's an inexcusable lapse from Lacefield down at first base. As the tail runner on base, there's not much she can do if O'Malley's still on second base in front of her.
The first pitch here from Megan Betsa, the catcher, Bella Norton, misses for a ball. The count 1-0.
I guess when you're that next base isn't as open, you maybe don't have the same sort of reactions or the same focus on the base paths, but you just can't get doubled up there.
As Norton awaits the 1-0 pitch. This one bopped up to the left side. Monty giving chase, dives, but can't make the grab before it lands in foul territory. The count's going to be 1-1 now on the catcher for the Hoosiers.
Yeah, Monty diving as much to stop her momentum before hitting that concrete ground in front of the fence, as much as it was, an effort at the ball. Don't think she even had eyes on it.
Yeah, Montemurano running basically straight back, her back turned towards the plate. Like you said, not sure it was an effort towards the ball or just to save herself, as the 1-1 pitch here to Norton is in there for a strike, brings the count to 1-2.
At the very least, she's got some dirt on that uniform now. Always going to look good in front of the coaches.
Of course, The equipment manager's maybe not quite as thrilled there, having to get these stains out. But the 1-2 pitch hitter Norton grounded towards third. Diving shot by Montemurano. Fires over first. Got her! And Montemurano putting on a show this inning, responsible in part for all 3 outs after that diving stop. We're through 1.5 here at Alumni Field. The score, Michigan 2, Indiana nothing. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast from Michigan softball here on WCBN Sports.
Lindsey Montemurano, already so familiar with this alumni dirt through 4 years of playing softball, got a little bit more familiar. The jersey just a little bit dirtier, and this time she does it for a cause, recording the final out of the inning. Good job ranging into the hole to stop that one. A pitch in on the hands from Betts, a pretty weak contact, but often the type that results in an extended rally and maybe even sets things up for the top of the Hoosiers lineup, if not for Monty being able to execute there.
And Monty having had that part in recording all 3 outs, including that spectacular last play for the 3rd out. She'll have a chance to bat this inning as the Wolverines send up the 7, 8, and 9 hitters against Tara Traynor. It'll be Katie Alexander, Lindsey Montemurano, and Courtney Richardson before cycling back up to the top of the Wolverine order.
The Wolverines lineup has been sort of inconsistent throughout the year, as we all know, but oftentimes it goes the way of these bottom hitters, and as Alexander, Montemurano, Richardson, the 7, 8, 9 hitters in the lineup, whoever they may be, have found a little bit more success. The Wolverines lineup has been able to turn over more and generate more runs. We saw it especially this weekend against the Wisconsin Badgers. Richardson had her day, going I think 2 for 2 on Saturday. Alexander and Alex Subject are getting production out of the catcher's spot that they didn't really get through the first half of the season, and so we'll see if the Wolverines can continue that theme in this game and in the next.
So Katie Alexander is ready, and she strides up into that right-handed batter's box, ready for her first look at the day against Tara Traynor. The first pitch here from Traynor is in there for a strike to Alexander. Count 0-1. Alexander on the season batting .286. Has herself 1 home run on the year as well as 11 RBIs. The 0-1 pitch here, almost a check swing there, but she definitely did go around. The count now 0-2 as Alexander chased one a little high out of the zone there.
I don't know if this is a new wrinkle to her swing, but she's got a really pronounced lean forward and then rock back preparing for the pitch.
The 0-2 pitch here misses high and away for a ball, 1-2. Seen Tara Traynor so far definitely relying on that rise ball, rising up and out of the zone. Try to retire some of these Wolverine hitters. We saw it especially against Maddie Uden last inning. She ended up getting the strikeout. That strikeout came on a drop ball that dropped straight down out of the zone. This time she blows it past Katie Alexander for strike 3. A little too late there on the swing from the Wolverine catcher, and there's 1 out in the bottom half of the 2nd.
That is, as I think Tigers radio color commentator Jim Price would call it, the art of pitching, going high with the elevated riser, just changing the eye levels. Even though Alexander didn't offer at it, made that low pitch just that much more effective.
So it'll be Lindsey Montemurano here taking the first pitch. Look at a drop ball moving low and away maybe. Moved out of the zone though, and the count 1-0 on the Wolverine third baseman, who, as you were mentioning, the jersey full of dirt now after laying out a couple times in that last half inning. The 1-0 pitch she sees here. Thinks about swinging, but holds up for the batter. The count now 2-0 after that pitch missed a little outside.
Yeah, that was a close hard breaker, the kind that Traynor got Alexander to offer at the end of that last at-bat. Monty wisely lays off, aided by the count advantage. She
definitely has the count advantage here, though. The 2-0 pitch, she takes this one high and away for ball 3. And now definitely in firm control in this at-bat, 3-0.
I'm just now noticing that Christner's at the top of the lineup, but that I think will add to Montemurano's value in getting on base in that 8 spot with an RBI producer right at the top.
The 3-0 pitch here, Montemurano catches the outside corner for a strike, 3-1. As you said, Montemurano skilled at getting on base, has herself a .402 on base percentage. Not afraid to take a walk. We've seen so many times able to control the zone, unlike any other hitter in this Wolverine lineup. And right on cue, she takes a 3-1 pitch just off the plate away for ball 4. She's on base now with 1 out here in the inning, bringing up the left fielder, Courtney Richardson.
And that can be frustrating for a pitcher. Trainer's already undergone some difficulty this game, and in that at-bat, at about 3 pitches that did not miss by much. And instead of, forcing Montemurano into an adverse situation, getting a bad swing, instead she's on first base with 1 out, top of the lineup lurking around the corner.
And really through no fault of Tara Trainor's own. The first pitch here, Richardson is swung at and fouled back to the screen. Brings count to 0-1. Really a couple passed balls. She's only given up 1 hit. Only the second walk of the game. She ended up actually having that drop third strike against Tara Blanco. Appeared to get out of the inning without giving up a run, but the catcher Norton not able to hang on to that third strike. Brought in the first run of the game for the Wolverines. Another pass ball brought in number 2. The second pitch here to Richardson. Misses low, maybe a bit away. Evens up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Richardson on the season batting .273. She has played in every Wolverine game, has not started every single one, but this is her 38th start and 46th game she will appear in. A big swing there on the 1-1 pitch, just a bit late. That'll bring the count to 1-2.
Talk about exhibiting contrast. Trainer really rearing back and getting some extra zip on that. Probably a rise ball, might have been a curveball. Hard to really tell from this vantage point, but either way, probably about 10-15 miles per hour faster than the last one.
Now the 1-2 pitch hit high in the air towards right field. That'll be the right fielder Jenkins camping under it and making the grab for out number 2. So Tara Trainer mixing speeds. Had Richardson a little bit behind that one as she flew out to right field. Now 2 outs and a runner on first. That'll bring up the top of the Wolverine order in the form of Kelly Christner. Christner led off the game back in the second inning with the double off the center field wall, which she was able to advance due to the error by the center fielder Blitzett, hanging on to that ball after it bounced off. The first pitch here to Christner misses low in the dirt for a ball, 1-0. With that double, Christner's average up a bit to .413 on the season, easily leading the Wolverine team. The 1-0 pitch here, swung at and bounced towards first baseman Uden makes the play and steps on the bag all by herself for out number 3. So the Wolverines able to get a runner on, but cannot advance her from first. We're through 2 innings here at Alumni Field. The score, Michigan 2, Indiana nothing. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast of Michigan softball on WCBN Sports.
So if I'm not mistaken, today is Kelly Christner Day here at Alumni Field. So, it might be said that no one has been a bigger beneficiary of the Sunday game getting moved up today than Kelly Christner, because she's got 2 games now with the fans holding an enlarged likeness of her head.
Yeah, this one really all about Kelly Christner. She gets her 2 games worth of her senior day today, and then the official senior day for the Wolverines tomorrow after Sunday's game was canceled and have it move up. So all about Kelly Christner this weekend, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if seeing cutouts of your head in the crowd doesn't get you going, I don't know what will. And it seems like she got out to the right note today. Even if she didn't get the rally going at the end of that inning. One thing that is maybe not perplexed me, but one thing that I find kind of curious is I feel like Michigan's a little reluctant to exploit the advantages they might have on the base paths. They're a team that steals bases really effectively, and with a freshman in Bella Norton behind the plate for the Hoosiers, I wouldn't have been displeased to see Montemurano take off, try to get into scoring position. And I've thought that often this year, where Michigan maybe will settle for a bunt or leave the runners dormant.
The first batter for the Hoosiers here in the top half of the 3rd inning will be the second baseman, Erin Lehman. She takes the first pitch she sees from Megan Betza for a strike, 0-1.
Yeah, especially on an offense that has run hot and cold and has struggled to generate runs from time to time, you're giving up an out to sacrifice him to second anyway. Might as well take the risk. That's the way I see it, at least.
The 0-1 pitch here, just off the corner, maybe a bit low. Evens the count up at 1 ball and 1 strike. And like you're saying, stealing bases, we see that across the way over at Ray Fisher Stadium a lot. The Michigan baseball team very aggressive at taking extra base, and has led to a lot of production out of the lineup. See 1-1 pitch here, late swing on that one, well late as the ball is ready in the glove of the catcher Alexander before Not able to finish or even really start her swing.
I've been there. You know, it's too good of a pitch to take, and you realize when it's already in the mid, oh crap, it's going to look bad if I just take this one.
So now the 1-2 pitch here, fouled off down the first base line and into the Wolverine dugout. Count's going to remain 1-2.
Of course, when you swing half-heartedly after it's in the mitt, you look even more foolish, but sometimes the mind doesn't quite work quickly enough.
It feels better at the plate than sitting there and taking one and then having that regret that, oh, I probably should have swung. So now another 1-2 pitch here from Betza. Misses high for a ball. Leaves the count up at 2-2. Betza perhaps trying to change the eye level there with that rise ball moving up and out of the zone. See if she decides to drop one here in the dirt. Trying to record her second strikeout of the day. The 2-2 pitch. And there it is. The ball bounces in the dirt. Swing and a miss. Ball gets away from Alexander, but she's able to fire down to first to record the out. And just like that, Megan Betza does record her second strikeout of the day. And there is one out here in the top of the third.
Now, I've noticed it with Lehman there and with Bella Norton the inning prior. Wisconsin's last two hitters standing way up toward the front of the batter's box. And I imagine that'll maybe give them an advantage on breaking balls, have them hit it before it gets down to the shoe top level.
As Rebecca Blitz, the leadoff hitter and center fielder for the Hoosiers, takes the first pitch low for a ball, I believe. They have it as a strike on the scoreboard. Now changing it. It is indeed 1-0. Blitz standing a little bit farther back as she's a slap hitter that moves up in the box as that one is fouled over the screen behind home plate and over the stands on the third base side, out of play.
The trade-off,
up 1-1.
Sorry to interrupt. The trade-off of standing that far up front is that you just have that much less time to react to the pitches. But with a pitcher who doesn't rely as much on velocity like Megan Betza, maybe that's the better approach to take.
The 1-1 pitch from Betza. That one bounces in the dirt, but ruled. That blitz went around by home plate umpire Leah Bowen. The count 1-2 now.
The check swing is such a subjective thing at times for umpires, and especially with slap hitters, almost impossible to adjudicate fairly.
Yeah, I don't think she really looked like she went very close to going around, but the 1-2 pitch here bounces in the dirt for a ball. Or rather, it did indeed clip the leg of the left-handed hitting blitz. Home plate umpire Leah Bowen didn't make a call, and now calling blitz back to the box.
Just a wry smile and a shake of the head, like, no, that didn't get you. Come on back.
I definitely did not think it did off the initial pitch there.
Well, she blitzed down to first base. Oof. Yeah, that was bad. Gotta warm up still.
You got a long run. You got to recover from that and then get it going. It's the 2-2 pitch is swung at and missed by Blitz for strike 3. So after trying to get on base there, she ends up walking back to the dugout with Betza's second strikeout of the inning, third strikeout of the day. Now 2 outs here in the third, bringing up Gabby Jenkins, the right fielder.
I got to credit her for having the presence of mind to just take off for first base on that pitch in the dirt. It probably did hit her, but hard to know.
This pitch bounces in the dirt on the plate. A nice block by Alexander behind the plate, but Jenkins did not offer at it. The count 1-0 now on Gabby Jenkins.
I certainly wouldn't put it past any competitors at this level to maybe take advantage, especially against someone like Megan Betza.
The 1-0 pitch catches the outside corner against the slap-hitting Jenkins. Count evened up at 1-1. Jenkins back in the first inning. I'll be honest, not sure if she gave it a full swing or bunted. Had a little bit of obstruction in the way, but she deadened it right in front of the plate. Almost worked as a sacrifice had she bunted. That was tapped foul and bounces over the Hoosier dugout. The count now 1-2.
An unidentified Hoosier clad in a gray t-shirt and red pants, probably a player or a manager of some sort, tried to make a barehanded grab in the dugout, bounced off her hands. Credit to her for trying, though.
Does not go down as an error. As a swing and a miss here from Jenkins at the Betza fastball. She strikes out the side. After 2.5 here, Betza sits at 4 strikeouts on the day, and the Wolverines sit with a 2-0 lead. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast of Michigan softball here on WCBN Sports.
Betza having a bit of an off day in the circle, I think it's safe to say.
Yeah, only 4 strikeouts through 3 innings. Definitely off her normal pace. She went a whole inning without striking a batter out.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. 3 hits already. You got to think she's holding herself to a higher standard and will try to rebound in these later innings.
Maybe saving herself, see if she goes tomorrow in the 3rd game of the series. But making up for those lack of strikeouts there in that inning, striking out the side. The Hoosier 9-1-2 batters.
Now, Austin, you've got some ball experience. Do you think that this sudden schedule change, a few hours before the game, will have any impact on how this next game gets played, psychologically or physically?
I think there's a point you hit. We'll see how long this first game ends up going, but there's normally a point you hit when you're kind of just tired of playing a little bit. It normally happens. I think I've experienced it around maybe the 10th inning of play, we'll say, roughly. But you reach that point where it feels like you don't really want to just go anymore. And that we'll see which team's able to fight through that wall here in the 2nd game, or if this game goes and ends up going long. As Abby Ramirez steps in for her 2nd plate appearance of the day, takes the first pitch she sees in the outside corner for a strike, 0-1.
Well, fortunately for the Wolverines, the emergence of Maddie Uden has added just that much more flexibility to what Hutch can work with the lineup.
The 0-1 pitch here again catches the outside corner, and Ramirez down in the count now, 0-2.
Trainer really hammering that lower outer edge. Ramirez has got maybe more power than you would expect to the opposite field. I'd hesitate before hitting that again if I were Tara Trainer.
It's the 0-2 pitch hitter Ramirez. This one's tapped foul down the left field line, bounces off the screen in front of the Indiana dugout. The count's going to remain at 0-2 on the Wolverines shortstop.
It's a real smart pitch there from Trainer. Higher, but even farther off the plate away. Not a hittable pitch for Ramirez, but after those last 2 called strikes, she forced the senior to expand the zone.
Another 0-2 pitch here, bounces well in front of the plate. I think I've got maybe halfway to the plate before bouncing off the dirt. The count's going to be 1-2 now.
Hard to imagine that was a calculated spot there from
sure
pitcher Trainer.
Changing the eye level there with the 2 hopper and the catcher Norton. Another pitch on the outside part of the plate, fouled off the screen on the left side by Abby Ramirez. Staying alive here, the count will remain 1-2.
Ramirez has played enough softball, has had enough of these habits ingrained in her that it's going to take more than 1 pitch in the dirt to turn her into a cricket player.
So she squares that bat around, is going to pull it back before she sees the 1-2 pitch. This one bounced foul off of Ramirez at the plate. Ruled she was in the box when it hit her, so it will go down as a foul ball, and the count will remain 1-2.
I wonder if that's something that slap hitters get better at over the years, fouling the ball off of themselves in the box as opposed to down the line. I haven't seen Ramirez get pegged for it this season, or last.
I don't think I've seen a Wolverine hitter. I haven't called quite as many games as you have here, but I don't think I've seen a Wolverine hitter get pegged with that. I've seen opposing teams get called for that one. There's another 1-2 pitch here to Ramirez, fouled off to the left side over the screen into the little lawn area between the batting cages and the stands here at Alumni Field. And we'll do it again at 1-2.
Just staying on that outer edge is Tara Trainer.
Trainer showing good location and really good mixing of speed so far in the day. The 1-2 pitch here swung at and missed for strike 3 as Trainer finally able to set her down for the first out of the inning here in the bottom of the 3rd.
Well, she shut me up there. She just kept hanging with that outer edge, going higher, lower, faster, slower, and finally got Abby Ramirez to chase one out of the zone, and she couldn't foul another one off.
An impressive job by Tara Trainer there to retire the not very strikeout-prone Abby Ramirez. And speaking of not very strikeout-prone, Faith Canfield stepping to the plate as she fouls the first pitch off the screen on the right side and into the Wolverine dugout. Bounced around a couple times for being snagged there by a Wolverine player. Good teamwork there, bit of a tip drill. And the count 0-1 now on the second baseman for the Wolverines.
Canfield's been stellar all season, but she's really come on over this recent kind of 1 month road trip for the Wolverines. So I've been looking forward to seeing her back at Alumni.
She takes the first pitch, or rather the second pitch to the at bat there as it bounces in there for a ball. He was to count up at 1-1.
And I missed her first at bat, but it was a walk. So
it was a 4-pitch walk. Canfield didn't really have to do anything at the plate. Perhaps explains why the first pitch she saw in the zone here, she took a hack at it. The 1-1 pitch here, line fouled on the left field line, bouncing on a hop off the protective barrier down that left field line. Count's going to be 1-2.
Canfield, I guess you could call her one of the power bats in this Michigan lineup, but she's really, I think, the only pull-prone power bat in this Michigan lineup. Everybody else seems to go to the opposite fields. You know, she's capable of doing that, but it seems like most of her power comes to left.
The 1-2 pitch to Canfield, fouled back off the screen behind the plate. Count's going to remain 1-2. I definitely think more than fair to say Canfield is the power threat in this lineup. Leads the Wolverine team in extra bases. 6 home runs, 13 doubles, and a triple to her name for a total of 20.
Yeah, I'm just checking Aiden Falk's stats. Looks like Canfield's
she's close. As the 1-2 pitch bounces in the dirt. Nice stop there by the catcher, Bella Norton.
Yeah, I know Falk's got the doubles, but not quite the home runs to match the sophomore second baseman.
The second baseman for the Wolverines. Ready for the 2-2 pitch here from Tara Traynor, who has been very impressive on the day. There's 2 runs on the scoreboard, neither of them charged. 2 Traynors. This one's lined deep towards right center field. This ball is gone off the screen in front of the right center field bleachers. So Faith Canfield's 7th home run of the season to the opposite field on that one, Morris.
Yeah, I was going to say something about that, but you beat me to it. Down 2 strikes in the count. A frozen rope to right center field, out of here before, almost before it even left the bat. It's a very solid swing from the hottest hitter in this Wolverines lineup.
You know, they say, as with baseball, same saying goes here for softball, is right when you seems like you have it figured out, it just goes the opposite way on you and you have no idea.
Shout out to the IU softball Twitter account too. They had that solo home run tweeted out like before Canfield even got around third base. Their social media manager is on top of things.
So tip of the cap there is Aiden Falk steps in, takes the first pitch off the plate away for a ball, 1-0. Wolverines now lead by a score of 3-0 here. And right after I got done saying that none of the runs on the board were earned, that solo home run is indeed earned off of Tara Traynor. See, 1-0 pitch to Falk here, misses low and away for a ball, 2-0. So Falk, if she wants to keep pace with Canfield, she's got herself 18 extra base hits on the year. Canfield now at 21 after that line shot of a homer.
The outfield playing about straight away.
See, 2-0 pitch here to Falk, hit high in the air towards left field. The left fielder McDonough ranging over near the wall, makes the grab before crashing into the wall in foul territory. So a nice grab there, sets down Aiden Falk. And there are now 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd.
Plenty of give in that wall down the left field line. Looks to double as a gate through which groundskeeping vehicles may enter the field. So, gives McDonough just a fraction more leeway heading down that left field line.
Speaking of gates over there in left field, the Hoosier bullpen now getting going. Is the coach, one of the coaches for the Hoosiers, as well as a couple pitchers that look like made their way down through the gate in the left field corner. And speaking of pitchers, Tara Blanco, the Wolverines' 2nd pitcher, not in the circle for this one, probably will be in the circle for the 2nd game today. Takes the first pitch she sees from Traynor outside for a ball, 1-0. The 2nd pitch here misses just a bit low, perhaps just a bit inside, and the count now 2-0 on the powerful first baseman for this one, Tara Blanco.
Looked like a low riser from Traynor, trying to get up to the knees at the bottom of the zone. I think that was the pitch that Canfield hit out, so she missed a little low there, maybe adjusting.
2-0 pitch here, perhaps another riser, this one rising up and out of the zone, taken by Blanco.
No, Austin, that was obviously a curveball, can't you tell?
I'm sorry. I
have no idea either.
I need to eat some more carrots to see the spin on that ball as it's coming out of the hand. The count 3-0 here on Tara Blanco. And that one misses low and away off the plate. So a 4-pitch walk here has a runner on first with 2 gone in the inning for Maddie Uden.
I've got a softball pitch diagnostic app that connects to my phone through my glasses. So
that explains it.
Yeah, so you can definitely trust that every insight that I have is on point.
And it looks like we're going to have a pitching change here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Perhaps saving Tara Trainer for the later game of the day or tomorrow's ball game.
I'd say it's probably more likely that they're going to try to get her in later today. She has carried the bulk of the load for the Hoosiers throughout this season, and maybe next game they see it as a more winnable game with Tara Blanco in the circle as opposed to Megan Betza, who, while she may be a bit off relative to her standard, still basically an impossible task for Indiana to tally more than 3 runs off of her in the remaining 4 innings. If we get that far.
If we get that far, that's right. Wolverines lead 3-0 here in the 3rd. Ideally would look to tack on here. If they're going to tack on, it'll be against the relief pitcher for this one for the Hoosiers, Emily Kirk, the right-hander. This will be her 18th appearance on the year. She currently sits at 2-6 with a 4.59 ERA. In just over 53 innings of work, she struck out 13 and walked 11, so very reliant on those balls in play. Hitters so far on the year batting .332 against her. So very different than what we see from Megan Betza, the Wolverine pitcher in the game right now. Very reliant on those strikeouts and walks her fair share of hitters as well. Get a very different look here out of Emily Kirk. She finishes up her warm-ups. First batter she'll face with 2 outs here in the 3rd is Maddie Uden.
I wonder what the family dinner is going to be like tonight. Especially if, Uden strikes out 5 times and Taylor gets a few hits, but Michigan wins both games, which is not that far-fetched of a scenario, although, I hope to see better out of Maddie. I don't know, it could be some interesting conversations. I won't go any further than that because I can't speak from any vantage point of experience. I was always a far better baseball player than my brother.
The first pitch here to Maddie catches the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. So far on the day, both Uden sit at 0-1 with a strikeout. Maddie looking to change that line here. Down in the count 0-1 against the new pitcher for the Hoosiers, Emily Kirk. The 0-1 pitch here, line deep towards right field. This ball's got a chance. That ball is way out of here. 2-run home run, Maddie Uden. And now she has something to brag about at that family dinner later on today.
Oh, man, Kirk got away with a get-me-over off-speed pitch to start things off against Uden. Tried to get one over again, and it hung right over the heart of the plate. And Maddie Uden made no mistake. Her first career home run, and it comes about 200 feet over the head of her sister at first base, deep into right center field.
I went halfway up the bleachers there in right center and pushed the Wolverines up by a score of 5-0 now after they tack on their 2nd and 3rd runs here in the 3rd inning.
That one a no-doubter off the bat. Canfield got out of here before we could even conceive of the ball's flight path, but that was a moonshot, if you will.
And especially with that wind blowing out just about to straightaway center, or maybe a bit towards left center. It definitely a no-doubter off the bat. Once it was leaving the infield, you knew that was going to go a long way. As Alexander takes the first pitch she sees high, maybe a bit outside for a ball, 1-0. The second pitch here from Kirk. Big swing and a miss there from Alexander. Looked like a drop ball, just avoiding the bat. Evens the count up at 1-1. As you mentioned, Uden's first home run of the season, first home run of her Wolverine career. And RBIs number 6 and 7. The 1-1 pitch here to Alexander misses low for a ball, 2-1.
Kirk's got sort of an interesting delivery from the circle. A little bit of bend her knees and almost kind of arches her back over, bending her butt backward before getting into that delivery. Not quite as dynamic, and she kind of pauses at that point before unloading toward home plate.
As she unloads this one, it misses high and away for a ball. Even brings the count to 3-1 now on the catcher for the Wolverines.
You got to imagine having sort of a stilted, fractured delivery to home might rob her of some action, some velocity.
3-1 pitch here. Hit high in the air to the right side. The second baseman, Lehman, ranging back into shallow right. She makes the grab to end the inning, but the Wolverines tack on 3 on the strength of a solo home run from Faith Canfield and a 2-run homer from Maddie Uden. Through 3 here at Alumni Field. The score sits at 5-0 in favor of Michigan over the Indiana Hoosiers. You are listening to the official student radio broadcast of Michigan softball here on WCBN Sports.
Kind of reminds me of a pitcher I used to play with. Not going to name names, but he ended up going to the University of Michigan. But his nickname was the Octopus because he had such a lanky frame with really long arms, and he was also one of the. He was very well muscled. Like, he had the perfect physique to be a pitcher, but he was one of the softest tossers you would ever see as far as delivering the home plate, because he was never able to quite translate the athleticism that he had into velocity, and it ended up detracting from his baseball career.
Yeah, it's kind of, you see some pitchers are able to utilize that with the big length there. Normally when you see a big lanky pitcher, you expect him to fling that ball up there, so maybe even a little bit of an advantage trying to throw the hitters off. Messed up their timing with a bit of a pause in the delivery.
Yeah, maybe it's just a mechanism to help her gain more control. Sometimes you have more moving parts, more things to account for. It's a little more difficult to locate the ball well. I know that's why, in the case of me, I pitched exclusively from the stretch in high school because just didn't want to bother with all the wind-up motion. Worked for me. Not working so well for Kirk so far.
Megan Betza, though, working well here through 3 innings. The first pitch she tosses up there to Caramillo Cerrigos. The designated player misses outside, maybe a bit low for a ball, 1-0. And Betza, who does wind up on the mound, winds up for this one. The 1-0 pitch hit high in the air toward the left side. Ramirez ranging back. The left fielder, rather, Courtney Richardson, sliding in there to make the grab after she called off Ramirez. And there is 1 out here in the top of the 4th.
Ramirez had an easier play on that, I believe, than Courtney Richardson. But I admire the brass on the sophomore left fielder calling off the senior shortstop. And, might not have been the right call, but she made the play.
As long as you make the play, you're not normally going to get in trouble for that one. It definitely did look like Ramirez was basically camped underneath it. As this one is grounded back to the circle. Betza picks up and fires over first to retire Taylor Uden, who's now 0 for 2 on the ball game, trying to keep pace with her younger sister.
Well, she's going to have to go yard later on for that to happen.
It will be a tough task against Megan Betza, who's gotten 2 outs on 3 pitches here in the 4th. And that will bring up Rachel O'Malley, the shortstop. First pitch O'Malley sees is in there for a strike, 0-1. O'Malley with maybe the hardest hit ball off of Betza so far today. Line one into left for a base hit back in the 2nd inning. The 0-1 pitch here in the 4th, grounded just fouled on the 3rd base line. A diving stab by Mana Morano.
Kind of wish that one had stayed fair, just so we could have seen Monty snag that.
If that one did stay fair, Monty would have had it. She dove just a little past that 3rd base line. Ball just out of her reach, and the count now 0-2. As Betza winds up, and the pitch just highly a bit outside there from Betza, brings the count to 1-2. Betza 4 strikeouts on the day and 3 2/3 inning of work. Chance to set down O'Malley here. Had 1-2 in the count. Here comes the pitch. Just off the corner for a ball. The Wolverine infield starting to walk back to the dugout, have to go back to their positions as the count will be 2-2 now.
Love watching Monty out there. She was by far the most animated of the Wolverines infield, breaking into a jog before circling around and back to her spot down the line.
Played it off very casually also. See, 2-2 pitch here. Popped towards Monty over at 3rd. She calls it and makes the grab for out number 3. So a 1-2-3 inning here, her first of the day, or rather second of the day, second consecutive 1-2-3 inning from Megan Betza. This time without any strikeouts. We're through 3.5 here, halfway home at Alumni Field. The score, Michigan 5, Indiana 0 on WCBN Sports broadcast of Michigan softball.
Megan Betza appears to be settling into the groove and is certainly justifying Indiana's decision to maybe bring in Emily Kirk and save trainer for the next affair.
After giving up 3 hits in the first 2 innings of this one, Betts has retired the last 8 she's faced, including a double play ball in there to begin the 8 straight batters retired. And Montemurano, who made that last out of the inning, will lead off here in the 4th inning. She'll be followed by Courtney Richardson before cycling back up to the top of the Wolverine order for the 3rd time today, with Kelly Christner looming in the hole.
So Megan Betts entering this game was on the verge of history. The all-time single-season record for strikeouts in a season. I already said season. Sentence structure not what it maybe should be, but either way, the record 451 by Jenny Ritter in 06. Second place, also Jenny Ritter, 417 in 05. That may be reachable by Megan Betts, but in 3rd place, Jordan Taylor with 340 in 2011. Betts had 333 in 2015. Came into this game with 334, so she had already eclipsed her previous single-season high. And today, sitting with 4 strikeouts, she is 2 away from tying and 3 away from surpassing Jordan Taylor for the 3rd most strikeouts in a single season for a Michigan Wolverines pitcher.
Keep an eye on that one as Montemurano takes the first pitch she sees in her first look against Emily Kirk. That one misses high for a ball, 1-0. Betts obviously one of the greatest Wolverine pitchers to come through Ann Arbor. One of the most prolific strikeout pitchers, bar none. The 1-0 pitch here misses low and away to Montemurano, 2-0. So Monty yet to take the bat off her shoulder here. Walked on 5 pitches last at bat. So far ahead in the count, 2-0 here against Kirk. The 2-0 pitch swung at. There's the first time Monty's taken a hack as that one's fouled back over the screen behind home plate and into the stands here at Alumni Field. Brings the count to 2 balls and 1 strike on the 3rd baseman for the Wolverines.
Other marks that Betts may be threatening at number, I think 8 on the list is 11 shutouts in a season. Betts had 10 coming into this game. Her previous career high, was 11 in 2015.
That one bounces in there to Monty, brings the count to 3-1. Betts definitely on record watch here as the season starts to wind down. You think she'll get 2 chances this weekend to try to get that 11th shutout.
Yeah, Ritter in that 2006 season also had a .77 ERA. Don't think Betts is touching that one.
The 3-1 pitch, Monty hit high and deep towards right field, but the right fielder Jenkins has room to make the grab for out number 1. A well-struck ball there by Montemurano, just didn't carry quite far enough. And there's 1 out here in the bottom half of the 4th, bringing up the left fielder Courtney Richardson.
Looked to have, maybe a sort of home run trajectory, but the contact just not quite solid enough for Montemurano. Didn't have that home run sound off of the bat.
And maybe a little bit underneath that one. That really wasn't hit that far in the air. She had hit it more on a line like we saw out of Faith Canfield. Might have been able to get that one into the stands in right field. As the first pitch here, Richardson misses low for a ball, 1-0. You wouldn't necessarily think of Emily Kirk as a pitcher that has trouble with command. Like we said, coming in, only 11 walks on the season. The 2-0 pitch here bounces in the dirt. Rather brings the count to 2-0. That was the 1-0 pitch, but so far of the 4 batters she's faced, she's fallen behind 3 of them. The only one she didn't fall behind was Madison Newton, who hit that long home run.
Maybe a mark against Kirk that she has so few walks. Maybe she should try to pitch around hitters more because she's been hit pretty hard today at least.
And looks to be pitching around Richardson a bit here as that one misses low. Brings the count to 3-0. Not sure if that's really the best move to pitch around the 9-hitter in the Wolverine order with the likes of Kelly Christner looming on deck. So the 3-0 pitch here to Richardson. Richardson taking all the way, takes a strike. Bring the count to 3 balls and 1 strike. Back in the 2nd inning, Richardson flew out to the right fielder Jenkins in her first at bat of the day. Her first look here at Kirk as she's ahead in the count 3-1. Hit high in the air towards left center field. The left fielder McDonough ranging over. She calls out the center fielder blitz and makes the grab for out number 2. And like Montemurano, looked good off the bat, but didn't quite have enough to carry out of here. And now a couple of flyouts have Indiana with a chance to get out of here. They 1-2-3 inning, 2 outs here with Kelly Christner striding to the plate.
I feel like Michigan's lineup might have been encouraged by the performance of their peers in last inning, because we've seen a couple of swings that, or a couple of fly balls to middle outfield that might be home run swings, and that's not really the approach to take.
The first pitch to Christner is in there at the knees for a strike, 0-1. Someone that definitely can take that big swing is Christner. We saw it back in the first inning when she doubled off that straightaway center field wall. Hit it probably 220 feet, and that wall sits 222 feet away. See, 0-1 pitch there to Christner, bounces in the dirt for a ball, evens the count up at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Looks like the crowd is beginning to fill in as we move on. People are getting off work, people are getting out of school, and we're getting closer to that scheduled start at 6 p.m.
Christner turns away from this one as it misses inside for a ball, brings the count to 2-1. I mentioned earlier, graduation weekend here in Ann Arbor. Commencement ceremonies tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. And a senior at the plate here in Kelly Christner. She's ahead in the count 2-1 and turns away from another pitch that misses off the inside corner. Now ahead in the count 3-1.
Now I spoke of Faith Canfield as a sort of pull-based hitter and was promptly corrected by an opposite field bomb. Christner also tends to hit the majority of her, majority of her power pulling the ball.
The 3-1 pitch here. Thinks about swinging, but holds up and takes that one for a strike on the inside part of the plate. Runs the count full now, 3-2.
Pulling a late break on that hard curveball from Kirk. Looked like a backdoor pitch and a good 3-1 offering.
See if she can replicate that on the payoff pitch here, 3-2. This one's line. This one will drop in front of the center fielder blitz for a base hit. So Christner now on base for the second time today. She's got a double and now a single. Now a runner on first here with 2 outs in the inning for another senior, the shortstop Abby Ramirez.
Those end of the bat shots can be tough to get a good jump on. You see such a powerful swing, you see the trajectory off the bat, looks like it could be a hard hit ball, and then it just dies right in front of you. Blitz looked like she got a pretty good read, but in the end, that's sort of no man's land between right, center, and second base.
Little Texas leaguer of sorts, maybe as a White Sox announcer, Hawk Harrison would call it a duck snort. That one, the first pitch to Ramirez misses off the plate away for a ball, 1-0. It looks like the book on Ramirez, the slap hitter, stay away, try to pound that outside corner. We saw Tara Traynor able to do it in that last at-bat when she set down Ramirez on strikes after a lengthy at-bat there. Kirk not able to find that outside corner here with the first pitch to the at-bat. See if she tries to go back there with the 1-0. This one bounced. Nice snag over there at third by Lacefield. She fires over to first for the 3rd out of the inning. And what a play there by Lacefield to grab a ball that bounced up near her shoulders on the hop and fire over to retire Ramirez, who is definitely speedy and can beat out any ball that's mishandled. So the Wolverines able to get a run around with 2 outs, but do not score after 4 here. They hold on to a 5-0 lead over the Indiana Hoosiers. You're listening to WCBN Sports Broadcast of Michigan Softball, the official student radio broadcast for Michigan Softball.
If you're enjoying our broadcast, you can, or you know, you have anything to be displeased about with our broadcast, you can interact with us at WCBN Sports on Twitter. We also write stuff. You can find that at WCBNsports.org. We got the daily sports report going on for at least a couple more weeks. That's on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor, Monday through Thursday, 6 to 6:30.
I think there's this podcast. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, East of the Rockies, our Michigan softball podcast. We always appreciate the athletic department Twitter account showing us some love, giving us some retweets, so you can always follow the links there. We tweet about it also pretty frequently. We've been coming out with it weekly despite one of our members, our founding members, getting in a car crash yesterday. Still got the episode out. Don't worry, Jeremy is okay. A little too shaken up to make the broadcast today, let's say.
That's what it was, yep.
Yeah, it wasn't going to the Tigers game, it was the car crash.
Yeah, no, he definitely did not text me at 9 o'clock last night. Say, hey, I got some Tigers tickets, you want to call some softball? Anyways, Megan Betza out there for her 5th inning of work. Fires the first pitch in there to Katie Lacefield for a strike, 0-1 the count.
But, you know, in the hypothetical that he did text you in such a scenario, aren't you glad that this is how you're spending your Friday?
Oh, of course. It's a beautiful day here in Ann Arbor. A couple softball games here. Very nice pitching by Megan Betza. She misses just off the plate there away. Brings the count to 1-1. Really, any day to spend at the ballpark is a good one in my eyes. And so far, plenty of fans here at Alumni Field agree, even with the change start time, as that one is tapped. Fouled on the right field line near the Wolverine dugout. Nice play by the first base coach to make the play on about a 3-hopper there. Bit of a short hop.
This Indiana team, this lineup has got some players with sort of caricatures of batting stances. Lacefield's such an open stance, holds the bat straight up. I don't even know how she gets the bat around.
This one she takes high, bit inside there for a ball, 2-0. Very Craig Counsell-esque out of the stance from Lacefield. Has that bat pointed straight up, like you said, hands well out in front of her. And maybe a bit above her helmet as well in that left-handed batter's box. Very open stance. She takes the 2-2 pitch, bouncing in front of the plate for a ball, 3-2.
Yeah, normally when we see Betza miss, it'll be a little closer than that. Losing the commanded bid against Lacefield, who's already 1 for 1 on the day.
And the payoff pitch here from Betza to Lacefield. Swung at and missed for strike 3. Betza's 5th strikeout of the day as she inches ever closer on that career strikeout list, or rather season strikeout list. And that will bring up Amila McDonough for her 2nd look at the Wolverine right-hander on the day.
1 away from tying for 3rd in the Michigan record books for single-season strikeouts.
See if she can get it here. The first pitch catches the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Do you think Betza's conscious at all of about where she stands? Maybe not the exact place, but you think she knows that she's creeping up on one of those records?
Hard to know. I would doubt it, though.
She comes here with the 0-1 pitch. Just off the plate inside for a ball, 1-1, as McDonough kind of danced out of the way at that one, even though it didn't look particularly close. Was able to get that call from home plate umpire Leah Bowen. As Betza winds for the 1-1 pitch. This one fouled off the screen on the 3rd base side. Brings the count to 1-2.
Yeah, I feel like this is a team that's not very focused on records, on expectations, on things outside of the game at hand. And I think that's a culture that's enforced and reinforced by Hutch and the seniors on this team.
The 1-2 pitch from Betza here. Misses high for a ball, brings the count to 2-2.
Which is totally not how I would be if I were a player like Megan Betza. I'd be gunning for those records, and I would be hyper aware of it. But, you know, maybe that ability to tune out the noise is part of what makes her such an effective competitor.
I know that it's possible for players to kind of balance that. See, 2-2 pitch here from Betza, just off the plate away for ball 3-2.
On one hand, you know, it's a standard to sort of compare yourself to.
Right. I mean, kind of conscious, especially when you get a bit older, talking about, as a senior, Betza, maybe talking about a legacy, what you want to leave. Maybe a bit more conscious of it than you are as a freshman coming in and learning what's going on. As a swing and a miss here from McDonough on a pitch that bounced well in front of the plate. Had her fooled, did Betza, and there's strikeout number 339 on the season.
That's 340, Austin. Last one was 339.
She's striking out batters so quickly, I'm losing count.
Yeah, she's back on her normal pace. And I'll tell you, I've been keeping an eye on that 340 number because it was a point of contention in our first podcast of the year. We'll talk more on that as we move on between innings, and I think we'll get there pretty quick.
As Betza already head in the count here, 0-1 to the catcher Bella Norton. Norton was robbed last time by a diving stab at 3rd by Montemurano. The 0-1 pitch to her this time. Catches the outside corner for a strike, 0-2, and Betza locked in right now. Was able to strike out the first 2 batters of the inning. Ahead in the count 0-2 here against Norton. The right-handed batter awaits the pitch on the right-handed hurler from the Wolverines. Misses off the plate away. Alexander set up off that plate. Trying to get Norton to chase on that one. She does not, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And you can see right now the outline of the batter's box has been faded by wear and tear, but Norton is at the very front.
Very front. She fouls that one off, maybe a bit off of herself and back to the barrier behind home plate. Count's going to remain 1-2 as she has that open stance, that foot up near where the front line would be in that batter's box, and also near the back part if you're talking about in relation to the plate. Really standing far off that plate. See 1-2 pitch here. Off speed just misses off the plate away. It looked like the home plate umpire, Leah Bowen, was about to ring up. Norton opted not to, and the count now evened up at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, I think Betza was going for the looking K there. Just missed her spot.
Try for it again here on 2-2. This one lined towards first, but this one's going to get foul down that first base line, and we'll do the 2-2 pitch once again to the catcher, Norton. Norton, a freshman, which makes her place starting the 39th game of the season here that much more impressive, or rather her 35th game of the season, playing her 39th game. Is a freshman catcher, very impressive out of Bella Norton. See 2-2 pitch, swung at and fouled down the left field line this time, bouncing off the screen in front of the Indiana dugout. We'll do it again here on 2-2.
Also impressive to see her battling against one of the Big Ten's best in Megan Betza. Had a good swing her first at-bat. She's kept the at-bat alive here. You know, she's still hitting under 200, but that's, you know, it's asking a lot of a catcher to expect her to produce that well in the lineup.
And she check swing here, appeal down, no swing on a ball that bounced in the dirt. And the count for the 3rd time in the inning has run full. As you mentioned, a great at-bat being put together here so far by Bella Norton. She'll stand in here and await the payoff pitch from Betza. Swing and a miss for strike 3, and Betza now number 341 and number 7 on the day today. She strikes out the side for the 2nd time today, and we're through 4.5 here now at Alumni Field. The score is still Michigan 5, Indiana 0. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast of Michigan softball on WCBN Sports.
That was a really vicious drop ball out of the right arm of Megan Betza, and you know, it's been established that she'll go to any pitch and any count. And for the freshman Norton, just a bit too much to take. Admirable that she stretched Betza to the extent that she did, though.
Yeah, it was really impressive there by Norton. Like you said, just kind of unfair to the freshman there from Megan Betza. Knew who she was dealing with and just really dropped the hammer on her there.
But yeah, back to the 341 strikeouts now for Megan Betza. At the beginning of the season when we were making our prediction, I laid out 340 as perhaps a target for Megan Betza, and me, Kev, who's actually next door broadcasting with Student View right now, and Jeremy Parks established it as sort of an over-under, and both of them were on the side of the under, whether they expected Betza to take a more direct approach to hitters or whether they expect Tara Blanca to take a bigger role in the rotation. I don't know, but I lean toward the over, and so I've been kind of eyeing this moment as an I told you so since the beginning of the season. Is it self-centered? Yeah, but it's not going to stop me from enjoying it.
It feels good, though, doesn't it? You just kind of...
I was right. I believed that Megan Betza would be a dominant strikeout force in the circle, and she is one of the best in the country, if not the best, at doing that.
So Megan Betza, like we said, now, what is it, 3rd place on the list now? Or
3rd single season.
As this one is hit high by Canfield to right field, and that one's going to be snagged by the 2nd baseman, Lehman, ranging back onto the outfield grass for out number 1 here at the bottom of the 5th inning. Canfield, after that line drive homer to right center, lashed out the bat, took that first pitch to the opposite field, didn't quite hit it as far this time. And that results in out number 1. That'll bring up Aiden Falk to the plate, who's sitting at 0 for 2 on the ball game thus far. Getting her first look here at Emily Kirk. She lines this one towards center. The center fielder blitz, ranging over a little bit into that right center field gap, making the grab on a hard hit ball from Aiden Falk, but 2 pitches, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. That will bring up Tara Blanco.
Yeah, that was a vicious rip there from Aiden Falk. Unjustly robbed of a base hit there by blitz and by a little bit of bad luck.
If she hits that one maybe 5 more feet towards that right center field gap, probably gets to the wall and has herself another extra base hit on the year. As Blanco stands in here and takes the first pitch of the at-bat, unlike her 2 predecessors. And it misses outside for a ball to count 1-0. Blanco, the last hitter in the Wolverine order, yet to face Emily Kirk in the ball game today. See 1-0 pitch here from Kirk. Just cruises in there for a strike, count 1-1.
Oh, that looked good. That looked very hittable, but if Blanco was waiting on a high-speed offering, then it's understandable that she sat back on it.
Definitely took some of that one, or took some off of that one, did Emily Kirk. And the 1-1 pitch here to Blanco misses off the plate away, maybe a bit low there. The count 2-1.
Meanwhile, in Piscataway, New Jersey, the Michigan baseball team has tied things up with the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. That game in the bottom of the 4th.
The softball team leads 5-0 here as Blanco fouls this 2-1 pitch off the screen on the right side into the glove of the first baseman over there, Uden, but doesn't count after it bounces off that screen. The count will now be 2-2. Emily Kirk looking to record her first 1-2-3 inning of the day. Blanco holds that bat out in front of her, will pull back as Kirk winds up and lines this one just foul on the left field line. A stab there by Lacefield at third. Wasn't able to grab that ball, but luckily for her, bounced maybe 2 feet to the foul side of that left field line. And we'll have to do it again here on 2-2.
Good reactions there from the third base umpire, Megan Rabin, as well. Just jumping out of the way.
And right on top of that call as it skipped right at the edge of the M that's in the grass here. And a swing and a miss here from Blanco. So Kirk goes 1-2-3 here in the 5th. We're through 5 here at Alumni Field. The score, Michigan 5, Indiana 0. On WCBN Sports broadcast of Michigan Softball, the official student radio broadcast for Michigan Softball.
Not sure what Tara Blanco was looking for, but that was clearly not it. Her swing looked very different from the previous offering. She dropped the bat. It wasn't a level plane to the ball. It was slow, not direct, and that's why she went back to the dugout and the inning ended.
And we've seen that a bit from Tara Blanco this season, really making that swing a lot longer than it needs to be, which has perhaps led to some of her struggles, especially when she gets down in the count with 2 strikes. Really need to shorten up. She's had a little bit of trouble doing so, and it results in strikeouts like that one where that swing is just a bit too long and can't quite get around and able to make contact with the pitch.
So Betsa, when you juxtapose her with her past couple of seasons, she's got already 35 more strikeouts than last year on fewer innings pitched, as well as more strikeouts with fewer innings pitched than her sophomore year, where she really became a sensation and jumped to the 4 in this rotation, along with Haley Wagner, who was great in her own right. But the thing that's distinguished her season this year from the past 2, not only is her ERA lower, but she's also walked about 30 or 40 fewer hitters, with more strikeouts. So while, she has taken a more direct approach to these hitters, it's resulted in fewer walks, but still more strikeouts because her stuff is just that good.
And speaking of strikeouts, Erin Lehman, who struck out in her first look at Betsa back in the 3rd inning, takes the first pitch here from Betsa for a ball high. The count now 1-0 on the senior second baseman for the Hoosiers. Betsa's ready to 1-0 pitch, tap back to the circle. Betsa makes the play with ease and fires over to first for out number 1. 1 out here in the top of the 6th. We'll go back to the top of the Indiana order in the former center fielder Rebecca Blitz. Blitz led off the ball game back in the 1st with a single in the left, and then struck out back in the 3rd inning. She's 1 for 2 on the ball game today. First pitch he sees here from Betza in the 6th, misses high. Count 1-0. Blitz with that 1-for-2 day. Her average up just a bit to 336 on the season. On base percentage up to 421. 1-0 pitch here to the slap hitting Blitz. Catches the outside corner for a strike, 1-1. We saw from the Indiana hitters, especially against Abby Ramirez, trying to pound that outside corner against these slap hitters. Betza able to catch the outside corner here against Blitz. See if she goes back to it, the 1-1. It's line off the glove of Mana Morano, diving over that third and past Abby Ramirez, who's ranging over at short. That'll be honest, the second single of the ball game for Rebecca Blitz. The first hit for the Hoosiers since the 2nd inning. And retires Megan Betza's string of 9 straight batters she had set down in a row. And a runner on first with 1 gone in the inning now for Gabby Jenkins.
Not sure that Ramirez would have had a chance at Blitz at first if that got past Monty.
First pitch here, Jenkins is in there for a strike.
So often the third baseman cutting across is really the only chance you have, especially at a slap against a slap hitter like Rebecca Blitz.
It looked like it might have been hard enough where Ramirez might have had a shot to backhand it and fire over, but we'll never know, I guess, as the 0-1 pitch here is bunted right in front of the plate. Alexander makes the plate on the first in time, got her by half a step. So Jenkins, that one will go down as a sacrifice, it looks like. And a nice play there by Katie Alexander to hop out of the crouch, get on top of that one, and fire it onto first with a strong, accurate throw. And there are now 2 outs here in the top of the 6th.
Yeah, textbook stuff from Alexander. It's a really difficult play to have to bend over for that ball, shift your feet with all that gear on weighing you down to steady yourself and fire a dart to first base, but she put it all together with aplomb there.
The first pitch here to Karamia Cerrigos is in there for a strike, 0-1. Cerrigos, perhaps the best hitter in the Indiana lineup. Definitely one of the most powerful. She stands in there in that right-handed batter's box. And the 0-1 from Betza misses maybe a bit away. Not quite sure that one missed from our vantage point up here. Alexander seems like she's not quite sure. She talks to home plate umpire Leah Bowen between pitches. The count 1-1.
Yeah, Cerrigos and Uden, the 2 hottest hitters in the lineup. It's fitting that they're hitting 3 and 4 for the Hoosiers.
1-1 pitch here. Misses inside this time for a ball. The count 2-1.
Cerrigos hitting .390 in Big Ten play heading into this one with 6 home runs in conference. Picking her performance up after a bit of an underwhelming non-conference slate. Taylor Uden, 3 multi-hit games out of the 3 games they played against Maryland in a series sweep for the Hoosiers.
The 2-1 pitch here to Cerrigos is in there for a strike at the belt. Brings the count even now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. That's trying to preserve the shutout here. There's a runner on second. The speedy center fielder Blitz. 2 outs, 2-2 the count. Here comes the pitch, grounded, snagged by Betza in the circle. She tosses over to Blanco at first for out number 3. Ticketed for center field, it appeared. Megan Betza said, I don't think so. Snagged it and tossed over to retire the side. Through 5.5 here at Alumni Field, you're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan softball. Michigan leads Indiana by a score of 5-0.
Do you play many sports video games, Austin? I promise I'm going somewhere with this.
Not so much as I used to. I used to love playing MVP baseball and Madden games, of course, but where are you going with this one?
We'll get there eventually, hopefully before the Wolverines start hitting again. So one of the reasons I often get frustrated with sports video games is sort of unrealistic physics at times. Like, for example, I was playing Madden with my friend the other day, and I was irate at some of the catches that his team was making because it just seemed like, Madden's algorithm determined that the player should make this one-handed catch in traffic despite being leveled by the defense. He's just kind of standing there shuffling awkwardly instead of making a play on the ball. Anyway, that's what I'd compare that snag by Megan Betza to. Almost inhuman quickness, and I don't even know how she got in a position to snag that one. But it seemed like less like a calculated play by Betts and more like the softball gods determined that ball ought to be caught by Megan Betza. And so she snagged it even though she had no right doing so.
It's one of those, oh, look what I got. She just kind of stuck the glove down off to her left side, and the ball bounced just high enough where it found the pocket of the glove. Yeah. And of course, she played it off nice and cool. Like I meant to do that. I knew exactly the whole time that I was going to.
If I'm Karamia Sarigos, I'm setting down the controller and stepping away for a couple hours.
The first pitch here to Madison Newton is lined into left field for a base hit. And she'll be over at first base next to her sister over at first with her second hit of the ball game. Runner on first, nobody out, bringing up Katie Alexander.
Maddie Unit has been touted as the shortstop of the future for this team, but up until the latter half of this season, that's mostly just been sort of whispers. We haven't seen much evidence as to why that was going to take place. But starting with that sort of youth movement spark that Hutch instilled this weekend against Wisconsin, Unit has seized a role in this lineup, and she's been a spark again today. It's been refreshing to see.
Getting her third start of the season and her third straight ball game. She sits over at first. We have a pinch hitter now for Katie Alexander. It'll be another sophomore here, or rather a sophomore in Alex Subcheck, another member of that youth movement. She was getting a couple starts last weekend against Wisconsin at third base.
Subject taking a bit of a step back at the plate throughout the season, but you know, she along with Alexander and some of the less productive members of the lineup has seen a bit of an uptick lately.
The first two pitches in this at-bat are split 1-1, 1 ball, 1 strike. Subcheck, her season numbers, she's down to 222 on the season. After, like you said, started off a little hotter than her numbers would appear to convey. The 1-1 pitcher this time lined into right field for a base hit. As Uden had to wait to see if that one got down, she'll stop at second base. So a couple runners on here for the Wolverines in the bottom of the 6th. Perhaps looking to end this one just a bit early. It'll be the senior third baseman, Lindsay Montemurano, striding to the plate. A chance to tack on one, maybe a couple more runs.
Life's not always fair. Subject just another little Texas leaguer into right center field. Meanwhile, Aiden Falk with an offer on the day after hitting a hot shot to center. That's how it works. The Wolverines getting both sides of the coin.
Montemurano looked like she was going to squirt a bunt there. Pulled back as that one misses low and away for a ball. The count 1-0.
Hard to know whether she was actually trying to bunt or just testing the defense. It looked like Hutch gave her the go-ahead to maybe offer at it now, but now she's flashing a variety of signs to the base runners and to the batter at the plate.
The corners of the Indiana infield creeping in now, as well as the shortstop O'Malley. The second pitch Montemurano sees, misses off the plate, maybe a bit high. Brings the count to 2-0. For the third straight time, Montemurano getting ahead in the count. The first two times, I believe, she went to 3-0. She'll see a 2-0 pitch here from Emily Kirk. Squares around a bunt, pulls back, and the count does go to 3-0 this time. Montemurano once again showing her extremely good plate presence up there. Will not chase very often outside of the zone. Showed that back already with her 1 walk back in the second inning. The 3-0 pitch here, taking all the way in there for a strike, 3-1 the count.
I'll tell you, man, Hutch is a curious tactician. She will pretty consistently vary on a pitch-by-pitch basis whether or not she wants a hitter to bunt. I feel like a lot of coaches might get stuck into, like, you know, this hitter's going to bunt sort of mindset, but Hutch mixes it up.
And taking all the way here again, it looked like Montemurano. She steps back in that box. The count runs full now, 3-2. So again, Hutch going with that tactician's approach, giving the take side, or maybe that was Montemurano on her own, deciding she wanted to take one. Anyway, here comes the payoff pitch from Emily Kirk. Swung on and lined towards left field, hooking, foul into the left field corner. Montemurano just a bit ahead of that one as it's sliced just off to the foul side of that left field line. And we'll do it again here on 3-2.
Hutch looked like she was waving for the attention of her runner on first base, Alex Subject. Don't know what sign she could be flashing at 3-2. Looks like she's saying something.
I can't tell if she's smiling over there or not. Something funny happened. Another 3-2 pitch here, bounced up the middle, off the glove of Kirk. The throw over to first from the shortstop. O'Malley is not in time as Montemurano gets over there. I imagine that would have went down as an infield single. And of course, that play looked a little bit easier than the Megan Betza play, but like you said, just the way it works out. As we're going to have bases loaded now with nobody out. And Courtney Richardson stepping to the plate.
Well, you know, Megan Betza is absurd in more than one way, it would seem. You can't blame Kirk for letting that pop off the glove. It was a pretty hot shot off of Monty and probably ticketed for center field if she didn't get a glove on it.
But now representing the run that would end the ball game is Nikki Wald, pinch running for Montemurano over at first base. Nikki Wald, the go-to pinch runner for Carol Hutchins over the past several years. Past 2 years that Wald has been on campus. Richardson now with a chance if she can find a gap here, very well could end this ball game in 6. Nobody out here, bases loaded, and a line drive fouled on the left field line. As it one hops off the protective barrier out there. Count 0-1 on the Wolverine outfielder.
And this doubleheader is a bit of an unusual case. While in most instances the next game would start, you know, roughly 30 to 40 minutes after the conclusion of game 1. From what I can tell, the next game will start at 6 p.m. regardless of when this one terminates.
No one pitched Richardson ahead of it again as she fouls that one into the Indiana dugout and promptly out of the Indiana dugout as it bounced off the bucket of softballs over there. The count now 0-2.
Nice casual dodge by Indiana's head coach. Ducking a leg out of the way.
Made it look easy, and that one hit pretty hard by Richardson. The 0-2 pitch bounces in the dirt and through the wickets of the catcher Norton. A run will come home to score, and both runners will move up into scoring position. The score now sits at 6-0 Michigan as they score on a pass ball for the 3rd time in the ballgame.
And no hesitation there from Maddie Uden. Had her eyes trained on home plate, and as soon as she saw how that ball was getting away from the catcher Norton, took off for home. And you can't hesitate in that position. Uden, the freshman, looking like a polished vet there.
The first 2 times it was really a pass ball. This one really wild pitch as it bounced in the dirt before reaching the catcher Norton. The 1-2 pitch now to Richardson, fouled back off the screen behind home plate. Count remains 1-2. So we praised Norton earlier for her extremely good at bat against Betza before being set down on just what was an unfair drop ball, really. Perhaps showing she's a little bit green behind the plate there as the freshman after the couple of pass balls, not quite able to block that one. But it goes through the legs. Another 1-2 pitch here to Richardson. Misses low. A bit inside there. Evens the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Richardson, so far on the day, 0 for 2. A fly out to left and a fly out to right. A fly out to center here would not only complete that trifecta there, probably bring home a run with Subcheck over at 3rd. And this time it's fouled back to the net behind home plate again on 2-2, and the count will remain 2-2.
Kirk turning up the gas, and Richardson's barely gotten a piece of the last 2 offerings to keep the at-bat alive. First base is open, and Richardson, as a run, doesn't really matter for the Wolverines in this inning, but you want to take advantage of all the outs you can get before the top of the lineup comes around.
This one hit high and foul to that left field side. Will it stay in the stands? It does. A nice grab there made by the fan in the bucket hat and the vest. About the 6th or 7th row up off the Indiana dugout. Does not count as an out, though, to the chagrin of the Hoosiers. And the count will remain 2-2. Here comes another one to Richardson. She takes this one just a bit low, maybe a bit inside. Not quite sure where that one missed, but the count will run full here, 3-2.
Close call. Yeah, maybe if that fan were wearing crimson and cream, they could have given the Hoosiers the benefit of the doubt, but no such luck. Kind of a neutral appearance.
Definitely, as the full count pitch is bounced over the head of the third baseman, Lacefield. 1 run is in, Wald being held at 3rd. So an RBI single there after a lefty at bat from Courtney Richardson. The score now 7-0, and the game-ending run over there at third with nobody out for Kelly Christner.
And I'm not going to call it poetic because it's a pretty low-stakes game, but it would be something if Kelly Christner got the game-ending hit on her day, per se.
She was the one that got the game started for the Wolverines with a double off the wall. Has since added a single and a couple more at-bats since. Takes the first pitch here from Kirk for a strike. The count 0-1. Kirk, so far, very impressive coming into this inning. Has since given up 4 straight singles. There's just some bounces in the dirt to Christner. Nice block there by Norton. Would have certainly been the end of the ball game had that one gotten past. Count's going to be 1-1 on the Wolverine senior center fielder.
Yeah, Wald brought into this game specifically to run, though. To be fair, the Wolverines have had pretty solid contact off of Kirk the last couple innings.
The 1-1 pitch here, line foul on the right field line. Going to bring the count to 1-2 as that one was hooked near that right field corner. Bounced around the same spot that the M is painted in the grass here. Or rather the turf here at Alumni Field. So Christner down in the count 1-2, and Kirk trying to get that first out of the inning, having already given up 2 and runners on the corners. The 1-2 pitch to Christner. It popped up over towards third, a very shallow, low pop-up. Snagged by the third baseman, Lacefield, for out number 1. So now it's 1 out and runners on the corners, and we're going to get a pinch hitter in the ball game in the form of Amanda Vargas.
Yeah, Abby Ramirez not having her best day at the plate, 0 for 3 on the affair, and also not quite as effective of an RBI producer as Amanda Vargas. And really the only thing that matters right now for the Wolverines is that runner at third base in Nikki Wald, and Vargas probably gives them a better shot of driving her in.
Vargas can get one to the outfield here. Should be enough to get the speedy Wald in from third, provided it's not a very shallow pop-up. First pitch she sees here from Kirk, misses low and in for a ball. The count 1-0.
Vargas, a patient hitter, prone to both striking out and walking, neither of which conducive to the to satisfying the Wolverines' interests here.
The 1-0 pitch here to Vargas. Again, misses low and in for a ball. 2-0.
Though to be fair, just extending the inning with a walk for Canfield on deck very well might move the Wolverines closer to their goal of a 6-inning run rule.
Any way you can get on base here, I'm sure the Wolverines will take it as long as the inning does not end. The 2-0 pitch here in there for a strike to Vargas. Looked like a good pitch to hit, but perhaps not the pitch Vargas was looking for, and the count now 2-1. Again, Wolverines lead here 7-0 in the bottom of the 6th. 1 out and runners at the corners for Amanda Vargas, the pinch hitter. The 2-1 pitch she sees line, caught by the third baseman, Lacefield. She fires over to first for a double play. She catches Richardson basically at second base. So a double play gets the Hoosiers out of it, and the Wolverines not able to end things early here. They'll go to the 7th. Megan Betza looking to shut the Hoosiers down one more time and come out with a shutout victory. The score, Michigan 7, Indiana 0 here on WCBN Sports broadcast of Michigan softball.
Well, I was looking for a bit of poetry, bit of a script in that inning in Kelly Christner leading to the end, but we found a bit of a story the other way as Lacefield, who got doubled off at first base a few innings ago, gets to double off Courtney Richardson. Maybe I'm reaching a little too far on this, but it was basically the same mistake made by Richardson as was made by Lacefield.
Now, the one Lacefield was on was a bit harder hit, had a little bit less time to react. Richardson, meanwhile, that one looked like it might have hit the dirt before Lacefield caught it. She did indeed catch it in the air. We can tell from up here, but maybe a bit harder from field level with the pitcher Kirk in the field of vision. Not quite sure, but Richardson basically at second base when she had to turn around and come back. Didn't stand a chance after Lacefield snagged it and tossed over to the first base bag. And speaking of the first base bag, it will be the first baseman for the Hoosiers, Taylor Uden, leading things off here in the 7th. Following her will be Rachel O'Malley and the aforementioned Katie Lacefield.
One defensive substitution to be noted. Alex Subject now behind the plate instead of Katie Alexander.
So first pitch, Subject catches from Betza, is foul tipped by Uden and into Subject's glove for a strike, 0-1.
Big and awkward swing from Uden, her back foot swinging from behind her and out near home plate.
As that one clips right off the elbow of Uden there, and that one's definitely going to sting for a bit. You can already tell Uden feeling the effects as she trots down to first base, but she's on base here to start the inning for the Hoosiers. It'll bring up Rachel O'Malley as Uden's going to take a couple minutes walking down that first base line.
Probably got the funny bone. Looked like it might have been something to that effect. Doesn't look like she's wearing an elbow guard on that front arm either, so.
Now only the Under Armour-esque sleeve there.
God, they've got good branding. You jump to Under Armour right away.
Even though Indiana Adidas school, they have the Adidas logo on their red
Michigan's
uniforms.
a Nike school.
As the first pitch here to O'Malley is swung on and missed for a strike, 0-1. Indiana, we didn't tell you about the uniforms they're wearing. Indiana with the red tops, white bottoms, high red socks. Michigan in their whites with the blue bottoms. As the second pitch of the at-bat catches the outside corner for a strike, 0-2. I imagine the uniform combinations will stay the same for the second half of this doubleheader, but you never know. You go for a quick change. Maybe Mana Morano over there with that very dirty uniform after diving a couple times. Needs a uniform change. See 0-2. Misses a little bit low and off the plate inside to O'Malley. Brings the count to 1-2.
Yeah, we'll keep a close eye on that, but I wouldn't be surprised if, say, Taylor Swearingen or Maddie Uden take her place down at the hot corner. Meanwhile, the Michigan baseball team has tied things up in the top of the 6th.
The 1-2 pitch just snagged there by Subcheck as it missed high and away. Had to come out of the crouch there to grab that one, and the count now 2-2.
Harrison Wenson, a 2-out RBI double to score Jonathan Engelman. That game notched 4-4.
A series and a game the Michigan baseball team really needs here if they want to stay in contention to host a regional. See 2-2 pitch, line back up the middle, off of the foot of Betza. Fielded by Blanco, she dives, not in time at first base. A great effort there by Tara Blanco after it skipped off the foot of Betza. She fielded and tried to dive glove first into that first base bag. Couldn't quite beat the foot of O'Malley there. And I'm assuming another infield hit there will be tallied up. Now a couple runners on here with nobody out. The shutout in danger of being lost with Katie Lacefield stepping to the plate. Or rather, it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter. It'll be Nicole Laurie, the sophomore infielder, pinch hitting here for Lacefield.
Nicole Lavier, it looks like.
Lavier, is that?
L-A-W-V-E-R-E. I did not do my homework because I was, at work.
It isn't, it's Lavier.
Lavier. All right, third time's the charm. Good presence of mind from Blanco to dive for the first base bag. That was the only way Michigan was going to salvage that play. Tough luck for Megan Betza, but looks like she's all right out there in the circle. And, when you get as many strikeouts as she does, runners on base matter that much less.
Nicole Lavier on the season. I did the exact same thing you just did. So far on the year, comes in with a .294 batting average. She's appeared in 19 games. Only has 17 at-bats on the year. The first pitch she sees from Betza misses outside for a ball, 1-0. If there is a time for a strikeout right here, would be it for Betza. She hasn't struck out a batter in a couple innings. Seems to be about time for another one. See 1-0 pitch. Taken for a strike over the heart of the plate. Evens things up at 1-1.
to get me over offering there from Megan Betza.
See, 1-1 pitch now from Betza. She winds up and fires. Big swing and a miss there on the off speed out of Nicole Laurie or Lavier. That's the third or fourth straight pronunciation we've had, a different pronunciation, but regardless, down 1-2 in the count to Betza here. The pitch just misses off the plate away, maybe a bit low there. Count will run even to 2-2.
Lavier only, well, she's got 3 extra base hits out of her 5 on the season.
The 2-2 pitch, swung at well ahead of that one, able to get it off the end of the bat and foul it off the screen in front of the Indiana dugout. Count will remain 2-2 on the sophomore.
Lavier's looked off balance on the drop balls from Megan Betza. We'll see if she tries to bury it lower in the zone or switch it up entirely.
The 2-2 pitch comes with a much higher velocity offering there, and it's fouled back to the screen by Lavier. The count will remain 2-2.
Yeah, up and in on the hands. It's the kind of pitch that will often chew a batter up. But Lavier hangs tight.
And perhaps setting up for that drop ball after speeding up the bat just a bit. See if she goes that on the 2-2. Another high speed offering there. Misses high and away to run the count full 3-2. Runners on first and second. Nobody out here in the top of the 7th. Michigan leading 7-0 over Indiana. And the payoff pitch from Betza. Out in front of this one again is Lavier, and she fouls that one down the left field line. The count will remain 3-2.
Betza's gotten herself into a lot of 3-ball counts today, but has yet to register a walk. Lavier would be delighted to record the first of the game for the Hoosiers here in the top of the 7th.
The 4th time, or rather 5th time, Betza's gone to 3 balls. Another ball fouled off the Indiana screen, or the screen in front of the Indiana dugout, and the count will remain 3-2. Yeah, again, the 5th time already today that Betza has gone to 3-ball counts. All 4 of the previous times ended in strikeouts. Trying to do the same here against Nicole Lavier. Still back on that original pronunciation. Is taken for strike 3, so make it 5 straight times that Betza has struck out a batter after getting 3 balls on her. But there's now 1 out here in the top of the 7th, and you don't have to say Lavier's name anymore.
Well, you know, 4 times lucky, 5 times a trend. Megan Betza rolling with 3-ball counts today. And I'll bet Lavier would be a little salty if she heard your pronunciation of her name.
I apologize to her. We'll get it better if she appears in the 2nd game of this series. As we get another pinch hitter here, Kayla Mathewson batting for Amila McDonough. Takes the first pitch she sees from Betza low for a ball, 1-0. That was Betza's 8th strikeout on the day. And the 1-0 pitch misses low and away for a ball, 2-0. Her 342nd strikeout of the season.
Betza now up to 100 pitches on the affair. About average efficiency for her, I'd say.
Let's see, 2-0 pitch misses off the plate away, 3-0 now, and that's going to warrant a visit to the circle from the catcher's subject.
And Mathewson, not exactly a batter you want to walk. Only 5 bases on balls on the season, a 149 average. Bella Norton hasn't had much success. She's waiting on deck, although I think she'll be pinch hit for as well.
It looks like a lefty Mathewson here, another lefty on deck. Can't quite tell the number from our vantage point, but if she does indeed stride to the plate, we'll get the name and number for you.
Sarah Thompson, it looks like.
This pitch is in there for a strike to Mathewson on the 3-0 offering, and the count runs to 3-1 now.
Betza's not willing to give up on that 3-ball trend without a fight.
She has her work cut out for her. She's going to have to come back from down 3-0. The 3-1 pitch here. Foul on a pitch that I don't think Mathewson wanted to offer at. She did end up getting a piece of the ball with the bat, though, and the count run full now, 3-2.
Check swing up and in. You know, when you take a pitch, you don't often think to move your bat out of the way of the ball, and it sucks for her, but good for Betza.
Another payoff pitch here. just off the plate away for a ball. So there goes the trend. And the base is now loaded for another Indiana pinch hitter, like we said. And it does indeed look to be Sarah Thompson stepping up to the plate. Betsa just trying to hang on to that shutout here. We're going to have that 7-0 lead.
That would tie her for her career high for shutouts in a single season, 11, a mark that she set her sophomore year. Last year, although she was electric, only got 9 shutouts. I doubt she cares.
Of all the stats to look at, I don't think that's the one she's really paying too much attention to, but that one misses high and away for a ball, 1-0. Regardless, it would be an impressive feat if she's able to work her way out of this one. Bases loaded, only 1 out here in the top of the 7th. The 1-0 pitch now to Sarah Thompson. Catches the outside corner for a strike, evened up at 1-1 now.
I hope our listeners care.
I'm sure our listeners care about all the random stats and records we like to throw out there. Part of the beauty of softball and baseball. See, 1-1 pitch, just a bit high, maybe it looked like from my vantage point.
Yeah.
Just a bit off the plate, but the count 2-1 now on Thompson.
A drop ball that arced over the zone.
2-1 pitch now from Betsa as she winds and fires. On the corner for strike 2.
Very close pitch at the knees, outer edge, probably backdoor curveball from the righty Betsa. And you'll get the benefit of the doubt when you're rolling the way she is.
Betsa now ready for the 2-2 pitch to Thompson. Tap towards second, Campfield Fields throws to first for the out, but a run does come home to score, so the shutout no longer intact. As with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th, Michigan leads by a score of 7-1 now.
Yeah, don't think that Carol Hutchins was that concerned with Betsa and her pursuit of a shutout record book. The infield far back, Canfield very relaxed in taking the out, conceding the run.
So it'll be up Erin Lehman to the plate. She takes the first pitch here for a ball high. Count 1-0. That's maybe a little bit upset she was able to record that strikeout out there on the mound. Perhaps a bit upset she wasn't getting a couple of the calls she wanted here in the inning. She swung her leg up after that one, and the 1-0 pitch, she blows it past Lehman to even the count up at 1-1. Lehman so far on the day 0 for 2. Struck out back in the 3rd and tapped back to the mound in the 6th. That one the more routine of the 2 plays Megan Betsa made in that 6th inning, as this one is tapped towards the 3rd base coaching box. That will go down as strike number 2. The count 1-2 now. Betsa with a chance to end things here in the top of the 7th.
That's a good drop ball, or a pitch with a lot of topspin on it, to put it in layman's terms.
Now the 1-2 pitch. Rounded towards second. Canfield makes the play. Throws over to first. And that'll do it here. Michigan wins by a score of 7-1. And I did get that pun there, Morris, at the very end. Beautifully timed. The best punt of the day to end the ball game. Well done.
The best punt of the day so far. We've got another one coming in an hour.
We do have another game for you in an hour. Michigan will look to sweep the doubleheader and win the first 2 games of the series. They take the first one here by a score of 7-1. The line score in this one, Indiana 1 run on 5 hits and an error. Michigan with 7 runs on 8 hits, no errors. Betsa gets the win today. She moves to 20-7 on the season. The loss will go to Tara Traynor. She drops to 12-14. So as Morris mentioned, we will have the second game of this doubleheader for you in about an hour's time. Scheduled start 6 p.m. Eastern time here on WCBN Sports. But for now, we thank you for listening in. Final score once again here, 7-1 Michigan over Indiana. For Morris Fabry, I'm Austin Falco, wishing you a good evening, I guess, until we see you in a bit. And a go blue.